I woke up this morning and saw Borderlands debuted with a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. So what did I do? I immediately proceeded to book my ticket for a showing. What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another video. So today I've got my review of Borderlands. The movie debuted with 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's up to about 8% right now. Before I get into my review, hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell, and if you have seen this movie, please let me know what you think down below. I've got a lot to say. And as always, if you want some extra content, we're talking exclusive live Q&As, reaction videos to movies or shows that I watched for the first time, and commentary tracks to movies or shows. You can find that over on my Patreon. Your support over there truly does mean the world. Anything goes a very long way. But when it comes to Borderlands, I'm going to put a big disclaimer out there. I've never played the games. At one point in time, I think I was at a buddy's house in like middle school, and he had Borderlands 2 or something on the Xbox, and I like saw him playing it. But even then, I'm so out of the loop with Borderlands that I have no previous lore that I'm going in hoping to see. I have no connection to Borderlands. I'm just viewing this through the lens of it being a standalone movie with no prior connection to the source material. And I'm gonna cut to the chase. This movie is a real stinker. A genuine stinker, if you will. And it's not in the case of, say, something like a Morbius, where it's so bad that you can almost laugh at it, and there's like a memeability to it all, where you can pull moments out of context and make them into memes on social media and have a good laugh. Like, there's not even that redeeming quality to this. It's just flat out hard to watch. One of the biggest red flags out the gate was how it throws every single cliche in the book right at you and kind of just hopes for the best. It's basically like they threw every major cliche in a blender and said, let's see if this ends up sticking with audiences. And that just was not the case at all. In the opening, there's a generic exposition dump voiceover about some power that's been spread out. We really want to bore you with the details. It's just not worth my time or waste of breath, frankly. The setup for the movie was fairly generic, like I said, and then you get into the dialogue. These are just two examples of lines that are said in the film. You in what army? I'm too old for this shit. The list goes on and on and on, but you get what I'm saying. It's embarrassing. Like, I kind of feel bad because the movie attempts to set up like this ragtag group of characters who would go on to become your unconventional family along the way, comparable to something like a Guardians of the Galaxy, which I know this movie's had a lot of comparisons to Guardians before it even came out, and definitely shines through a bit here. But because all of the characters are so hollow and underdeveloped, it really ended up falling completely flat. On top of that, all the performances are so phoned in. You can tell everyone's here for the paycheck. I have nothing against any of the actors, but Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, even Cate Blanchett and Ariana Greenblatt, they're doing the best they can in a sense, but it's just so one note, and you can tell they're all just here to collect that check and get the hell off set. The movie attempts to be super flashy with its visual style and action, but it comes off as really dull and generic because there's no attachment to the characters. And the basic plot of this film is something we've seen recycled almost a million times in Hollywood now. I don't know how the plots like this are still getting greenlit. It's like every generic sci-fi movie from the 2000s that bombed somehow made it into this movie in 2024. 2024, and we're still getting movies like this somehow. Perhaps the most infuriating thing to me is how this movie treated the audience like they were a bunch of 5-year-olds. Like, it really looked down on viewers of this movie and treated them like morons. I could not stand the robot character voiced by Jack Black, incessantly annoying from the moment the character first spoke. And like, I thought it was going to be like just a scene, like a bit for a scene. Nope. It was the entire movie. Every single line of dialogue this character says, cringeworthy. I was just like, please make it stop. The only thing I can think of to compare it to is Jar Jar Binks in The Phantom Menace. And even then, that's an insult to Jar Jar because Jar Jar is somewhat tolerable. He has moments where he shuts up. This robot does not shut up. Like, this is humor that honestly 6, 7, 8-year-olds would find annoying. Literally just a character saying a word over and over. I'm dancing, I'm dancing, I'm singing, I'm singing, I'm singing. Shut your mouth. It's so irritating, and it added no value to the movie. It wasn't funny. If it was funny, I would admit it. It wasn't funny. It was a weird shtick, and it just didn't work. A lot of this movie was just misfire after misfire in the humor department. In the action department, frankly, this movie was so slow moving. It's only an hour 42, mind you. I'm not making this up. I was dozing off in the theater. I didn't miss anything important, but I caught myself doing this upwards of 10 times, and I'm not just saying that. Upwards of 10 times where I found myself, dozing off because I just didn't care. Like, I wanted to stay awake. I was fighting with every ounce of my being to, give this movie my undivided attention. And I just would be like, and I close my eyes for 10 seconds. It just happened to over and over. Maybe it's because the AC was blasting in the theater and I got real comfy in that recliner. But even then, if I'm into a movie, I'm locked in. Even a movie like Trap, which I was not crazy about, never once dozed off. I was invested from beginning to end, and I still have major issues with that movie. Full review linked up above, by the way. But I just at least can acknowledge that movie is competently made somewhat. There's no soul in this film. I don't know what purpose this movie serves. And what's worse is I haven't played the games, but I've heard online that it is completely disregarding the lore of the games and just says, screw it, we're making up our own story here, disregarding what was established in the games. I can't speak to that because I haven't played the games, but if that is true, why would this movie go out of its way to piss off the large market of people that are going to see this film? Like, this movie is pretty much targeted to people who play the Borderlands games, likely, right? Probably 75% targeted to them. All of those people are going to be pissed off now, so why would you go out of your way to sabotage the games? I don't get it. I don't get it at all. It beats me. Again, I can't emphasize enough how no one in this movie was particularly likable. It feels derivative of a lot of other sci-fi projects, except a really watered down, uninspired version of said projects. And it just tried to pluck out elements from a bunch of other sci-fi films that do things better, and it just underperformed across the board. No one wanted to be there. The script was shallow, filled with cliches from the jump, and it just became like, to a point, oh, there's another line that just genuine, I can't even make it up. If you go see the movie, you know what I mean. There's a line right there, I can't believe that made this film. Oh, they said a line here, and it just kept happening over and over and over. You know that like moment in movies where they're like, he's right behind me, isn't he? It's basically like 30 different versions of that line in different scenarios. It's just exhausting to sit through. So all in all, Borderlands is terrible. I cannot recommend this movie. If you're a fan of the games, please let me know what you think, because I'd love to hear your perspective as someone who has not played the games. Did you actually like the movie, or was it just unwatchable? And if you haven't played the games and you're like me and you saw this movie for some reason, let me know what you think. Do people out there like this one? If you do, be brave. Comment down below, because I think it's up to an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. Look, I didn't like this one at all. It's a stinker in my books. It's probably the worst movie of the year. At least with Madam Web, there's like a so bad it's a good quality to it. This is so boring, and it's like trying to actually come off as like a serious movie that it's even worse than something like a Madam Web. Oh man, I could go on, but there's really no use. This movie's a stinker. It's the worst movie of the year to me, and if you saw it, more power to you. You're brave like me, and we deserve a medal or something, a pin for watching Borderlands. But what do you guys think of this movie? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button, subscribe to that notification bell, and if you want extra exclusive content like reaction videos, first time watches that is, live Q&As and more, you can find that over on my Patreon. Your support over there truly does mean the world. I'm sure there's some more things I meant to say, but honestly, my brain is melting thinking about Borderlands right now, so trust the negative reviews. Don't see Borderlands. Thank you guys, as always, for watching, though, and until next time, see you guys later.